out as they go to work. Congratulations on your new podcast. Now open up a can of whoop ass and blast, blast, blast.
Oh, and we're back for another episode of Sweet Gravy, and we have we're continuing the trend with bringing back some of our audio guests, and we have with us Alex Ballin. Hello, buddy. What's going on?
What's up, y'all? Good to see you.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. We got the video up now, so we're able to do the whole guesting, which is nice.
Yeah. Now I have to share my unfortunate figure with y'all.
No, you look good, man.
All right.
You always had a nice beard. Okay, so
Look who's talking, man.
no, I respect your beard. It's respectable.
I know what that means.
I'll
It's not
look
as
at
good.
it. I'll look
That's
at it.
okay.
And I'll be like, that's he working what he working with. He ain't ashamed of it. So what's the deal? Your siblings, right? They're all gingies.
No, one is.
One is. Do you feel?
There ain't gonna be a whole family of gingies and then one kid with black hair.
Are you happy that you won the genetic lottery?
Yes. No, I mean, so I'm not blonde. My sister's dirty blonde and my brother's a ginger.
Right.
Has a very similar setup to what you got going on now.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. I look just like my pops when he was a younger man. And then the other two look like other people.
Right.
That's funny. Would you say, looking at the screen, looking at Kirk, would you put him almost in like a ginger category?
Well, I mean,
He got a lot of red.
Now, you knew me when I had a little bit more hair on the top of my head. So,
Yeah,
that
it's like blonde, strawberry blonde, but I'm the last person you want to ask about pigments of anything. I don't understand how colors work.
You're semi-colorblind,
My brother has
yes?
this sweater he's been wearing for like 8 years or something. And I found out last week it's not orange.
You're like, is this dress?
I didn't know.
I really want to buy this blue gold dress, and people are like, "That's white and gray." Remember the dress scenario?
Yeah, I do. Okay, legit. I thought it was green. I didn't understand.
All the
I was
colorblind
like,
people were like,
really wrong. All right, cool.
all the colorblind people were like, "This is how I live my life every day." You internet people.
Just about. Yeah. I was really confused.
That's funny. It's one of those things that you take for granted because I'm not colorblind, so I don't understand it, I guess. But yeah, that would suck looking at a color and not knowing what color it is.
Yeah.
It only sucks when you learn that you're wrong. Like, if I just keep it to myself that I don't know what we're looking at, like, nobody's aware that I don't know what's going on. But we had for the work I do, we had a training seminar when we used to be able to be near humans. And the thing was, it's a word. It's the word is a color, and it's in a color of a different. Okay, if it says the word red, but the word red is blue text,
right.
So you have to say there's a whole wall of them, and you have to say what the color of the word is. So instead of saying red, you would say blue. And I was like, okay, cool. I can play this game. That's fine. The first one is the word orange, but it's in green font or green ink, whatever the shit is. And my voice doesn't like hide in a crowd. So everybody goes green, and you just hear me go, hello. Oh.
Oh, no. Well, I mean, yellow is in green, right? So I mean,
I don't know.
In the color wheel, like green is blue and yellow combined. So yeah, you're halfway there. You're halfway there. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
The older I get, the more I just am okay with just not understanding how it works. Like, it's okay.
So
I'm glad that they don't move around the traffic light orders.
Yeah,
because that'd be fucked.
Traffic lights. We just have this traffic light. We talk about it all the time. There's a traffic light just around our house, and they just finally turned it on, so it's actually a functioning traffic light.
Yeah.
And Carmen and I, it used to be a stop sign. So whenever you would cross the street at that light, you would just walk across the street because you have the right of way. You're the pedestrian, and
Right.
you just walk. And then Carmen and I were going to walk across the street, and then I grab her, and I was like, "Oh no, we can't just walk across." It's like there's a walking man and a hand that says that we can walk or not walk. And then, like we like stop, and then there's a driver man, and he looks at us, and he says, "It's okay, guys. Everybody's running the light. Nobody's following the stoplight they're still using it as a stop sign because that's what they're so used to. It's been there for years, right?"
Yeah, like it's a weird thing. They just put a stop light up in an area where people are used to navigating and just yielding or whatever it is, and now is like no one knows how to use it. There's people still pulling out the parking lot and just turn it. I'm like, well, the light's red, but well, she don't care.
It's crazy.
I hope nobody gets hurt.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna get hurt at that intersection because not many people even know that it's there, and they keep running. It's just a mess.
It's one of those things where like city planning, it's like, oh yeah, people will always like run across the street. I know the guy that owns the grocery store that's right next to there. He used to put cones out, like illegal cones. To stop people from driving so fast through there because there is a crosswalk and you're supposed to hit the button and the lights flash and then you go across, and then like he's like, oh, these people are getting hit and they're trying to go to his business to give him money, so he's like, I'm gonna put cones out.
Oh no, I
gotta save
smart.
their lives so I can get their money.
That's right.
Yeah, the way he did it too was so smart. He like blocked off half of the street to where you only could drive on like a certain part of it. Like, yeah, so y'all gonna slow down because the cones are there, and what are you gonna do? Run over them? So he was kind of smart the way he did it.
It's like training wheels for civility.
That's right.
Like, okay, once you understand, like, you get used to slowing down because of these cones, I can remove them, and you look at the light. Oh, okay, now we all understand what to do.
Yeah. So explain to us these guitars back there. Can you give us a rundown of what each of them are? Can you?
Sure.
They go from like size. Are they loud?
Yeah, that's. Oh, they don't go quiet? Like they don't descend in volume. So the. No, they don't. I was just like, do they? No. This is a Yamaha RGX82. It's like a semi-hollow body, kinda. It's not a very good guitar, but it's a very fun guitar. It's weird as shit. Mm-hmm. When you plug in the jack, there's a LED light that lights up around the tone knob and tells you if you're using the front pickups, the back pickups, or it's split. And it's like super light. It's like 5 pounds. It's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Then it's a I forget which year reissue, but this is a Fender Telecaster. It's really nice. The electronic's been redone. It's really sweet. This is some Yamaha acoustic guitar I got in a trade for a computer part. Cool.
Nice. Did you trade him a graphics card for some Bitcoin mining?
No, nothing that valuable. A Wi-Fi card. He moved to the dorms on campus. He didn't have a way to connect to Wi-Fi. And I'm like, I got an extra card. He's like, oh, okay. What do you want for it? And I look around the room like, I'll take that.
That's
all right.
Oh my God. He fucking traded you a guitar for a Wi-Fi card? It's just better ways to get one than to do that. I don't understand. That's crazy.
Yeah, but he didn't have to spend money, and he had another guitar, and so I just got to take one.
Right.
Win-win.
Yeah, win-win.
That's awesome. That's a great trade.
Yeah, there have been worse ones. Like, speaking of which, so I bought this one. This is a Martin D28. When I lived on the island with you, bud, this is the one I was living with. Mm-hmm. Also, wait, I had an electric guitar. I think I was playing this one there, the white one. And then this is like my really shitty guitar. This is an Ovation that is just like, I've lent it out to so many people. They've taken it to the beach. Like, it's just the fact that it's
got a lot of love
is due to it being.
Yeah.
Love is a word. It's been through some times. So, and then you can't see it, but to the left of that is my Fender jazz bass, made in Japan. It's a really, really nerdy bass, and then this is the new toy that I love a lot. It's my Gretsch. It's a full hollow body. It's got a really pretty green color to it.
Yeah, I like the hues.
It's real nice. That's what I play when I get too stressed out doing the other things I have to do. And then I put it back.
Good to just kind of
It's a lot of fun.
put some energy into something and let it all out of you and just feel good.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's
I got like a mini audio in thing for my computer so I can record stuff if I come up with something that doesn't suck.
nice. Or if it does, you got it anyway, right?
Yeah, now it's taking up digital space
Are your
as opposed to physical space.
Are your guitars? Is it just something that's for fun, or do you do shows or open mics or anything?
Yeah, it's mostly fun. I thought I might be able to do this for a little more than fun. I don't think that's true anymore. But I've always been like a music nerd. My first thing I ever like dedicated myself to was getting really good at jazz saxophone, and
cool.
that spread out into other instruments. And these are just way easier to collect than saxophones. Like this guitar, this white one's like $200-$300 new. A new saxophone like worth playing, $1,500 probably.
Jesus.
So a lot like I could buy mini guitars with one saxophone.
When I was a young lad, I played the saxophone in the band. I was
Sweet.
I was an alto sax man, and it was a beautiful sax. It was the brass, and then like the little like guards on the little on these. You know, okay, so you got these guys, and then the guard, and then the swoop over, right? And that little swoop and the
Oh damn, boy, he about to pull
plug-
out.
he's
He about
gonna
to pull
pull it
out a
out.
damn saxophone.
and the plugs were all like silver. Oh man, it looks so cool. And I think by the time I wanted to quit, my parents actually just yeah, there you go.
So you're talking about the guards here?
Yeah, right there. Yeah, where you're.
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing was like silver. Oh, it was beautiful. And I think by the time I was done playing the saxophone, and I told my parents, "Hey, I don't want to play the saxophone anymore. I would rather do sports." I think they just paid it off.
Oh, buddy. Not that you understand those things when you're that young, but yeah.
Yeah, that's why you can't buy kids expensive shit because they just don't need it.
Well, you think like when I don't have a child. None of us here do. I don't think. And
Not that I'm aware.
so like we don't know, but you're supposed to culture your child. You're supposed to teach them the fine things of like music and stuff like that. And you know that's what they're trying to do. And then finally I'm like, oh, you know, I'd rather play football and hit my head a little more than the finer arts.
Well, they have like you could go the Fisher Price route first. They got little guitars. You get good on that, then I buy your ass a nice one.
David Bowie's first saxophone was plastic.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Little
saying.
FYI.
You go with the plastic one first. Once you get good on that plastic one, then you graduate to a bigger one.
Yeah. Be like, hey, well, you know, I was the only person in band that had a plastic saxophone, so I ain't sweating it.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Yeah, I think that's
there was
interesting.
Go ahead.
I think that's interesting. When you're younger, you're into all these different things, but you grow out of them so quickly. And think about the amount of money being spent on like, what would you call
Children.
it? Yeah, on children.
I would call them children.
On children, but I mean like the idea of like, oh, they might be good at this. Like, let me put my energy and time into that.
Because it's a unrefined creature. Like you don't know what it is yet.
unrefined creature.
Well, yeah, I mean,
That's
I would
the
say
right
that
word.
we're
Yeah,
in our,
I call them pre-people.
pre-people.
Like, yeah, they're not yet people. They're learning what being a person might entail, and someday they will be themselves. But until then, they're pre-people.
Pre-people.
I think that's fair. Yeah,
Right?
I like it. The pre-people, you know, they're learning how to.
If you were to try to draw a straight line from who the human I attempted to be at like 10 years old to now, right? That just I walked that line. I wouldn't be able to draw it. Like I don't know what fucking happened. But
Right, yeah. You
I just wanted to say one thing before I put this thing away.
Okay.
I got this in a trade as well.
Oh, nice.
I had a mandolin that I really liked, but I wasn't playing much. And a friend of mine really wanted a mandolin, and they had a saxophone they weren't playing much. I'm like, well, I'm much better at saxophone, so I will trade you my mandolin for that saxophone. And that's how I got this one.
Nice.
Yeah, lots of fun.
So when I started playing the saxophone, I was in the 4th grade, maybe the 5th grade, and then all of a sudden I saw Kenny G and he had the soprano sax, and I said, that looks really cool. That looks like a clarinet, only it's metal. And then I'm like,
Metal.
well, yeah, metal. And I was like, man, I wouldn't mind having a little like soprano sax, even though I wasn't good at the alto, which everybody had at that moment in time. You'd have like one bari sax, one tenor, maybe 2 tenors, and then like just a sea of altos. But you know what? Whenever I was in high school, because I played the sax in high school too for 1 year, I never saw the soprano sax, and I was like, that's Kenny G. He's on to something. And also, he's got hair. Beautiful hair.
Yeah, maybe if you switched, you would have kept it. Like,
You never know, right?
no, they're super independent events.
We need to do some research
There's
right now.
absolutely no correlation between which saxophone you play and how much hair you keep on your head.
Calling Elon, he needs to research this. Fuck going to space. We're looking up hair right now, okay?
Kirk, you got to give it up.
So Carmen has had about enough of my hair, because I've actually I'm growing it out, because I'm trying to get like a comb over thing going on. So like my hair is
That's
actually
not
like
about to happen. No.
it's actually like really long, so I'm trying to get it like to kind of like comb over. I've got maybe
a
about
lot more than that.
I've
but-
got maybe like 6 months left, I think, but she's just had enough. And there's long hairs, and I wear like a neck gaiter, like as a mask scenario, and like I'll
Okay.
pull it down and then I'll pull it back up, and all these like beard hairs get into my mouth, and I'm doing a lot of like sacrifice and like feeling a lot of pain growing out my hair this way. So I think I deserve the comb over, right?
Jesus Christ, this is ridiculous. He just needs to cut all this shit off. He needs to trim that beard up. Everything needs to be trimmed.
Yeah, I think Carmen deserves that you take care of yourself. Like, that's what
Thank
I'm
you.
hearing.
That's what I've been
I
telling
never thought
him.
about it that way.
He's making me suffer through this fucking joke that he has going on with himself.
No, but it's to nobody's amusement but my own.
Yeah, 100%. It's a super selfish, really like, on the outside, if I wasn't your friend, I'd be totally for it.
Right.
But like, man, you got to take care of the people around you, bro.
Hilarious.
He thinks it's funny. He thinks it's hilarious. And I'm like, well, you know what? If that's what you're gonna do, then we should go all out. I'm gonna fucking get some gel. We gonna brush that shit back into a ponytail. If you gonna go all out, then we're gonna fucking get crazy. But
I can almost get the ponytail right now. Like I can pull it back.
You see, I don't know what to say about this.
Yeah,
I'm nearly
let's do
there.
that.
Yeah.
You know, that's how I spend most of my days.
So Carmen and I were actually having a conversation about how men care for their hair. How do you? What's your daily routine for the?
So you're asking for my regimen?
Yeah. What do you do?
Yeah. So I'm still exploring options. I didn't ever have to worry about hair health until quarantine. Sitting inside and not moving a lot really screwed with my scalp. Mm-hmm. Like all my skin just got really, really dry. And so I started getting dandruff. I'm like, okay, I've never had dandruff. And I've spent kind of last year trying to figure out how to balance scalp health with hair health. Mm-hmm. So I use this Head and Shoulders, but like a really fancy one. They put something they call royal oils into it.
You got the royal oils?
I don't know what that shit is. Like, what it does is it doesn't burn my like hair. Right. So, and it addresses the dandruff. So that's cool. And then I use that like one of them fancy conditioners. I leave it in for extra long before I wash it out. I don't put any heat on it. I will like sometimes like twist it or braid it before I put it up when it's wet. So when I take it out, it has some texture. Otherwise, I'll just like ponytail it up or.
Oh, he get crazy.
You get
with
some
it.
nice flow in there. I like it, man.
He braid it and get some texture
He gets
in
some
it?
texture. I like it, dude. Like, yeah. I'll have to look into it.
I mean, well, my whole thing is, I'm telling Kirk,
Don't worry about it.
I'm trying to. It's ridiculous. I'm trying to explain.
You're
I was
gonna
trying
need
to
to go the
explain
hairspray
to Kirk.
route. Like, you're gonna have to apply heat. Like, you have to make your hair do something it's trying not to do.
Let's try it. I don't want to do this yet. Yeah, just like,
if the hair's just going, let me go.
Just let
I'm
me
a dog
die.
whose hips have fused together.
let
Just
me
like,
die.
like, I'm here for a little bit. Just love me while you can.
Yeah, right.
I feel like if you had long hair, well, I don't know. Maybe I could be wrong, but I feel like a lot of guys have a hard time with hair. They don't wash it properly. They should be washing it all the time. It's oily and greasy, and it's like, what the fuck? You have to actually take care of that hair if you're gonna have it. So
Yeah, and it doesn't help that like a lot of like the versions of hair we see, like long guys with long hair, are in like fantasy films, and those guys never bathe, so they think that like part of long hair is being like greasy and gross stuff.
Yeah.
I try to listen to other people's advice about like taking care of my hair, and like, oh, let's wash it every other day. I'm like, okay. So I tried that for a while, and that was a mistake.
No.
Like that's not what my head wants to do. I need to keep it clean every day.
Right. Yeah.
But you got to listen and experiment and try to figure out what's up. When it's safe to see strangers, I'm going to go to my sister's hairstylist. Is the move, and I'm going to pay her an inordinate amount of money to talk to me about shampoos and conditioners and care routines, and cut the dying bits off and style it. But we'll see.
Awesome. I'm excited.
Yeah.
You gotta give us an update whenever that happens, man. Like,
Sure. Well, I mean, it's lots of things will be happening at that time because it'll be safe.
oh yeah.
So
I mean, there's just going to be like a huge boom of, especially I think in Los Angeles, of just like people like going out and being like, oh, we got to get it in now, right now, right?
while it's open,
Yeah, like we got, I think Carmen was telling me the other day, she's like, the fear of this happening again. She was like, yeah, things are going to open back up, and then we're going to have like a couple months, and then 6 months later, it's going to be down again. And like that.
Oh, I would be 100% like dumbfounded if it lasted 6 months. I think it's 2-3 months at most.
2-3 months, and then we're back to what we're at now. Like some.
Yeah. Oh,
I agree.
Back to like what we were last summer.
Oh, you think it's going to be that bad?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The immunization shots are so the Johnson & Johnson one is 70% effective.
Right.
Because it's a one-time dose. The other ones that have the boost, those are the ones that get you to 90-95% immunity. However, that immunity lasts for up to, on average, 3 months.
Right.
So after that time, you have to go get re-upped. I don't think most people know that. I think most people think that once they get their second shot, they're good. So they're just going to live their life after their second shot. And then month 3 rolls around, and they're going to get sick.
That's
And
true.
that's terrifying.
You know, the thing is, like, the way that you say that is, people don't realize that, and yet every year people are taking flu vaccines. Like, why wouldn't you know what I mean? Like, why wouldn't you think that it's the same thing? Like, what's different? Like,
I mean, I am not at all an expert in any of these fields.
yeah.
But my understanding is the flu shot. The reason that we get a new one every year is that the
It
disease
mutates,
every
yeah,
year.
it mutates,
and so
and
you
it's
need
different,
new
yeah.
antibodies.
right.
With COVID-19, like I know that there have been mutations, so that just means that the disease is going to continue to mutate over the course of our species.
The rest of us. For the course of the rest of us.
It's not eliminate. I think it's not going to be something we eliminate.
Right.
I think it's something we contain. Like the plague's not gone, right?
Sure. Yeah.
The plague happened in Los Angeles a couple years ago again.
That's right.
Like, my mom got some, medieval disease from riding public transit a couple years ago. I don't remember what it was. I was like, that's a storybook disease. That's not
Scarlet
real.
fever. Or like,
It was something like that. It was something ridiculous.
Yeah,
I was
right.
like, Mom, how'd you go back 300 years to get sick?
Yeah, what you do, Mom?
Yeah, I mean, but there has to be some type of. I mean, what's the solution? Are we just gonna? Well, the biggest problem is the hospitals being overwhelmed because so many patients. That's like the biggest thing, and I think that's how they're kind of gauging everything. But what is the solution? You gonna put everybody back in the house again? Our economy is fucking stressed out. It's like it's a mess. So I don't know. They said 11 states now have lifted the mask mandate as well as the capacity limits. 11 states.
Yeah, I'm
cool.
pretty
So
sure,
yeah, no, we're not getting out anytime soon.
Right. Right.
So I like, what's the solution? It's herd immunity. It's like the way we got like contained smallpox. It's the disease doesn't go away. You just don't give anything to feed on, right? So if there are enough of us, like if the anti-vaxxers die out, like maybe either physically or the philosophy thereof, if that's eliminated, and we can be in a way that the spreading of it is so infrequent, that's pretty damn good. We can live normal life like that. But we'll see. It'll just become another one of the shots you get as a kid.
right, yeah.
It's just going to take some time for the medical tech and the research to get to the point where we can put a long-term shot in somebody.
Yeah, it's a frustrating thing. Like you said, I think it's going to be a long process before we're completely able to go back to normal again. And lifting restrictions right now, I think that's going to spread shit even more, and we're going to be back in the house.
Back, I'm not leaving. I got my first shot. I get my second one 2 weeks from now. So I'm fortunate that I'm an educator. So I had second priority, which is, that's a blessing.
Our current state, the state of Maine, they originally had it as essentials, like as the tiered essentials, and then they decided that no, we don't like that system, so we're just going to go by age. So so we're due for we're available for our vaccine in June.
Really?
Yeah, it's going to take that long. So
the president announced yesterday that the aim of his administration to get everyone vaccinated by May. So that might be changing.
Maybe. Yeah, we'll see.
Who knows?
We'll see.
Maine is Maine.
So that's awesome.
Maine is Maine.
Yeah.
The
president now is a person, not a cartoon character. So that's some kind of improvement, progress of a kind.
Yeah, a little bit, anyways. But
yeah, I'm not celebrating, right? It's just like, cool. This person's human. Let's maybe someday get a good human in there, a good healthy, not good
man.
I just want Joe Biden to talk a little faster. It stresses me out.
I don't think there's the processing power. It's done. Yeah, it's like an old. There's those old laptops. You turn it on and you have to wait 15 minutes for it to I'm a computer.
I'm a
computer. That's what's going on in his gray material.
I haven't had a computer. Carmen was in school, so we bought a laptop. I haven't had an actual computer in that I used for over 10 years. So the fact that this thing, you just hit a button and then it turns on, I'm dumbfounded by it. How's it so quick?
Yeah. Right.
What's it doing so fast like that? Typically, because you got the hourglass and you're looking at it and you're like, okay, and then you got to do all the stuff to get it going, and then that's what I'm used to. But this thing just goes and it does everything, and
it's crazy, right?
Yeah.
I totally remember those days too. Machines run off floppy drives. That was an amazing thing.
Yeah.
You could turn the machine off and put a new program into it.
Yeah.
It's wow, it does more than one thing. That's amazing. Now totally spoiled. I built the machine I'm using right now, and my boot time is 3 seconds.
Wow.
Everything up from pressing the button to it running anything. It's amazing. But whatever. We're old.
Yeah.
Compared to computer time.
Yeah.
Most people now go it didn't turn on. It didn't do exactly what I wanted the moment I wanted it.
Right.
Something's wrong.
Something's wrong with it. I got to take it to the Geek Squad. I went to Best Buy the other day, and they had build your own deck of card computer, and it's just like this little like thing, and like it's seriously like the size of a deck of cards, and it's a whole computer in it. And I'm like, man, like I remember when my parents bought like their first tower, and I was like, wow, that's amazing. It's like it's tall, it's not flat, and you don't put the monitor on it. Like I like how human of you're so us as humans, we get used to things where finally we have these tower computers, right? And then we decide, well, we don't have to put the monitor on the computer. What we're going to do is we're going to build this thing that's the same size of what the computer used to be, and then put the monitor on top of that. Right, like a little like level thing, because that's what we're used to. We're used to the monitor being here, not here. So now that the tower is down below, we're gonna put this little like shelf here, and then we'll put the monitor on top of that. That's the same size of what a computer used to be.
And what now computers are again,
right? Yeah.
The tower that your parents got is not nearly as powerful as the little shelf things they sell by the billions.
Exactly.
At this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, that Raspberry Pi deck of cards computer, I got one of those plugged into my my router, and it watches all the ads for me, so I don't have to watch ads. It's great.
Oh man, you don't miss them?
No, I don't understand how anyone would. Like, that is so foreign to me that like you want to get, you know,
brainwashed,
recursively brainwashed.
Well, yeah.
Like, I do not identify. Like, I know. I understand that's a thing.
Right.
Cool. I'm really glad those people get utility from it. From me, it's just a reminder that all I am to somebody is an opportunity to like scam.
Yeah.
I dislike that experience of humanity.
This is a person, and he is our audience, and we will try to sell him something. And I'm
okay with ads.
You're okay with it?
Yeah. Sometimes they have like puppy ads and things like that. I like those.
You like to look at the dogs?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's some little ones that I don't mind.
There's YouTube. You can type dog and have a great time.
Yeah, but I want to.
And no one's going to try to sell you a diaper.
I want to be surprised by it. I want to be watching a show and then an ad pops up and I just see beautiful puppies. I don't know. Sometimes it's cool. They're not all bad. Like, I get exactly what you're saying, but once in a while, I think it breaks up the monotony sometimes.
So we're basically like streaming. We don't like watch any like live television or anything. Like, we just stream everything. We don't have like the capacity to I don't even know how to get a local channel. And Will, you remember Will?
I love Will. I miss him so bad.
He'll tell me, he'll be like, "Oh, did you see this commercial like this?" Or like he'll reference it. I'll be like, "I don't watch television. Like, I don't watch like live TV. I don't know what you're talking about." He's like, "You've never seen it?" Like, just the idea of me not like seeing that. He's like, "Oh, I don't get it." And I was like, I'm stream only, dude. Like, we're in the future, man. Like,
to be fair, that's kind of was something we did as a group when we're all proximal.
Sure.
We'd watch Jeopardy and
Wheel of Fortune. Yeah.
Wheel of Fortune. Yeah. Like, that's a thing. Like,
whenever we all live together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. And
literal neighbors.
The funny thing about that, like, I think about us being together a lot. So we actually had this conversation fairly recently. Like, why?
With Barnsey?
No, not with Barnsey. I think I was a conversation with myself. Like, why do? Why,
yeah,
yes,
I
the
watched
royal
that one
we. Yeah. So I was talking to myself, and I was like, why do we have guests a lot of the time that are people that, you know, we lived on Catalina with? Well, there are people that we lived with, and there are people that we shared like this moment of time that was so simple. And also, like, you saw every aspect of the person, you know, like there's not really too much you can hide, because you wake up, you see the person, you eat with the person, you go to sleep maybe with the person, and you know, it's just kind of that's what it is. And it's like, you know, those people so well, even though like they are, I don't know, not a stranger, but just what's the word?
Well, you met some people there, and you guys became really good friends and more than coworkers.
Sure, yeah,
So
yeah,
that's
I would say that.
just what it comes down to. I know for me, like I've had Haley on. I met her on the island. But a lot of my friends, first off, they don't wake up early enough to do a podcast. So you have a limited amount of people that are willing to actually take an hour out of their day and be still and do the podcast. So I think selection is also part of it.
Yeah, I would say so. But to that effect, yeah, we lived together, and it was kind of you had to be a little malleable to be with those people, right? So last time you were on, you're like, you said, you didn't hang out with us so much as you were more of like a program set. You'd go over to the lodge and hang out there. Just like the vibes were better there, like for you, and like just
they're a lot nerdier, and
right.
That seems to be where I feel comfortable.
Carmen likes to say that the people that we like the Wills and the myselfs and the Benzos and the Toms.
Well, I love all y'all.
Yeah, but we're a little frattish, like just kind of like jockster, fucking just
yeah, you guys
gross
good
men.
Old boys, bro.
Yeah, gross men.
Yeah, you guys are like, I don't know, you guys have that that alpha male fucking
pack mentality.
That pack mentality where like if you're not cool, you guys are probably gonna pick on that person
Yeah,
or talk
probably
about
just
them,
single
or
them out just a little bit.
the person that don't fit in.
Oh, I'm Pawnee too.
Yeah, Ponson, yeah. Pawnee Dragonfoot. He lives a couple hours from us. And he
moved out there?
Yeah, he's in Boston. And the funny thing is, a couple years ago, I saw a Facebook post, and he was here in town. Like, and I was like, I sent him. I was like, "Oh, you're here?" He was literally like 5 minutes like down the street, a stroll away, and I was like, "Oh, meet up," like why not?
Well, yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, let's do it." And then I backed out on him because I realized,
oh, buddy.
I feel bad, but it came to the realization that I was going to have to spend some time talking to Pawnee, and I don't know what I would talk to him about in the first place. like I'd be like, because I didn't know him to begin with, right? Like
nobody did,
because he just hung out by himself.
Yeah,
he was always like in his room watching Lost. So
is that what he was doing? I didn't even bother.
Yeah,
just like,
yeah, he watched the complete series of Lost, and I remember he was supposed to get word came down that a man was going to get fired, and because his background check came back, and it was he had some criminal records on there, and he was going to get fired, and it wasn't Pawnee, it was another guy. His last name was Pons. And he had to get let go, but they told Pawnee he was fired, and then like he went up to his room. 5 minutes later, he had his bag and he was ready to go.
Whoa!
Yeah, and then they're like, "Oh no, not you, this other guy." So
I don't remember that
he
at
didn't
all.
question
Hans?
it. He didn't question it. Like, oh, I don't actually have a criminal record. Why are they?
No, he was
firing me?
like, "Oh,
No,
I'm
I-
not-
All right, I'm
Dude,
out.
This
Pawnee-
is Pawnee was Pawnee. That's just the way that he was. Like, he's such a-
I literally saved that dude's life, and he didn't recognize it.
What happened?
He was getting pulled into the wood chipper.
No way.
Yeah, his shirt got caught. He was like, "Oh," and I was like, "What the?" And slammed the bar
man.
out, and I was like, "Bro, like you gotta have a little bit, like a little more." And he was just like, "What?"
Yeah,
I was
what?
like, "You don't. You okay?" I tried to I couldn't formulate how to communicate. Like it, you didn't. If I wasn't looking, you could have gotten sucked up and died.
Right, yeah.
Like we died. Not like, "Ow, that hurts." Die.
Right.
Like. Man.
And to shut off a wood chipper, all you have to do is hit the bar. But Pawnee is that type of dude. That's
the bar's literally just in case you're falling, you can slam it.
Yeah, you
and it'll
hit it.
spit you out.
It's true, but Pawnee's like, "Oh."
Huh?
I can totally see it.
Bro.
Oh, man.
Man, I hated that experience. Wood chipping sucks.
Oh, man.
Yeah, he might have to do a job like housekeeping or something. If
I believe he's a waiter now.
Yeah, something a little simpler.
Yeah. Low stress.
Yeah.
Low. Yeah. Something you don't need a degree for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. I wanted to speak about the whole Meghan Markle and Prince Harry situation. Have you heard anything about what's going on with them?
They got married, right?
They're married. Yeah, they have a kid, and
Cool.
pretty much, they just pretty much got kicked out of the royal family, and they took security away from him, and they took the title away from him and the child. Well,
He's no longer a prince.
nope. They took his title away, and they took the title from his kid. They kicked him out, and they took security away, and yeah, pretty much his wife doesn't want to conform, I guess.
I mean,
So what does
Good.
what does his wife do? What is his wife?
She used
Who
to
is this
be
woman?
she used to be an actress, but she was like this low level actress. She
Was
did
she
a
in Step
couple
Up
of
2?
little roles.
The
She-
Streets?
I don't think so.
No. What was she in?
no,
I don't
the thing I know
remember.
her from is from Suits. Did you ever watch Suits?
No.
She was in a couple
Alright.
little roles, but she
She's really hot in Suits.
What's the
Well, she
star of
have-
Suits
she
name?
have
His name's
black.
like Alessandro
I honestly don't even know the human's name.
the
I'm pretty sure his character name was Harvey.
Oh, okay. So, what is he, like a scammer, con man? In Suits?
No, he's a really arrogant lawyer and very good at what they called closing, which
Oh.
is
Always be closing. Always ABC. Always be closing. So okay, so this Meghan Miracle, what's her name?
Meghan Markle.
Markle.
She's in Suits.
Yeah, she was like a
She caught
a
Henry's eye.
D-list actress. I would
D-list?
say
Okay.
maybe DC lister. She was in a couple little things.
Okay.
And yeah, they got together. They got married. They had a little child. And their child is mixed, obviously, and I don't think that the royals are feeling that. They don't want anything mixed up like that.
Like, I've been avoiding it because I've been so busy, but apparently the interview they did with Oprah is very damning of the royal family and royal structure.
Yeah, it's pretty bad actually. They talk about it, and pretty much the problem is they did not like the fact that he married a black woman. And then they just had a child. Now you're mixing up the royal blood. So you got to get the fuck out.
You gotta get, but he was always like it's the younger brother, right?
Yeah.
He was always like the problem child anyway. Like I remember whenever Henry, his name's Henry, and William, like William was,
gives a shit?
yeah, he was like the good guy. That's true. He was like William was like the good guy, and then like Henry was like always partying and stuff. So he's always been like the bad boy, right?
The most human among them.
Yeah.
Right.
But also,
that's the thing is like this guy who didn't drink from the like that despite his inbred nature hasn't succumbed to like backwards thinking.
Right.
Like realize that he's a living like a person doomed for death. Found attraction with a legitimate human being and made a life with her. They had a child, and they have a child. Like the fact that like the royal family is clinging to like this like moral barbarism is horrendous and really telling of like the uselessness of their institution. Like they shouldn't exist. They shouldn't have power. They shouldn't have land.
Right. At this point, they're just like a figurehead anyway. Like it's just
A very
But it-
expensive one that now has the ability to say that like reinforce the values of white supremacy. That is really bad.
sure. Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
inexcusably horrendous.
Would you say that that's an overstated example of what they're doing, or understated? Would you say that they are blatantly being semi-racist or outright racist?
It's
or
not semi. If
Well, I mean-
if the phrase is that they really think that they've like damaged the blood because she's black.
Right.
Yeah.
That's not semi. That's not little. That's full blown. Your morally corrupt racism.
right.
and it's inexcusable in any century, right? Much less one I live in.
Right.
Like,
I mean, that's
now-
how it's been forever. That's been,
Of course, I mean,
you
yeah,
know what I
it's
mean?
the
So
history
it's not
of-
like
of
they're,
Europe, right?
They're not doing anything different. They're doing the same thing. It's just the world is starting to open their eyes to it now.
yeah, the everyday people have less and less tolerance and patience for that crap.
Oh my God,
Right,
they're
but they-
so mad at that boy. They're like, you done fucking brought this girl in here. Now everybody talking shit about us. Like, oh my fucking God, he annoying.
You got the voice of the people, Oprah herself, talking about us.
And they paid $7 million for that interview.
The,
From Oprah.
How do they have money if they got? I guess that's part of like, we'll give you money if you take.
Well, he's worth-
if we
they
are allowed
have-
to take your title.
He's worth $30 million. So that's whatever.
What does that
it
mean?
is.
Can he cash part of himself out?
Yeah,
Like,
right. Like,
I don't know.
Like, what does it mean to be worth $30 million? Like, do you have those assets, like liquid, that you can buy an Oprah interview for? And the fact that like Oprah like heard that there's like a story about like the most powerful family in Europe being like unapologetically racist, and she goes like, "Oh man, this would be a great story.
How
Give
much
me
you gonna
$7
pay me?
million,
How
I'll
much
do
you
it."
gonna pay me for it? Yeah.
Like Oprah, man, like, like come on.
I'll put it on my.
Everyone
my-
listens to you.
I'll put it on OWN, the Oprah,
loves-
Winfrey Network.
She can't pass that because if Oprah didn't do it, who was gonna do it? Gail.
Gail.
Who's gonna get it? Somebody else is gonna get it. Oprah, like, I take that $7 million, even though Oprah has so much.
I mean,
fucking
honestly,
money.
like, what's his face that does the Daily Show now would have done it. John Oliver would have done it.
Anybody,
Like, this
yeah.
that's a huge story. Like, clearly, this thing is still tracking.
Right.
Yeah.
Whomever pulled that would have done very well for themselves.
Yeah.
But it being Oprah comes with kind of like it's sort of like American sacredness to it because it's fucking Oprah.
Right.
And so maybe that's what $7 million is worth. Like, if it was somebody else, they would question the integrity of the interview. But because it's Oprah, if you dare question her, like, all of America is coming after you.
Absolutely. I mean, I feel
yeah,
like
it's
Oprah,
Oprah,
wants
man.
it all. Oprah wants all the money. She already, what is she? She worth like over $1 billion already.
Yeah,
She wants
yeah.
everything. I take that little $7 million.
Take $7 million, and I'm gonna get Stedman some ice cream.
Yep.
2 scoops.
2 scoops.
Don't go crazy.
Stedman, you can get 2 scoops today, okay?
But yeah, like it's like I'm
Poor Stedman.
now I was thinking poor Megan. Like,
Yeah,
like
I mean,
being-
but at the same time, this is the most famous she's been in her goddamn life. She did come
Will ever
up.
be.
Will
Yeah.
ever be,
But I mean, like,
absolutely. So, girl, don't try to.
I don't
play
think she
victim
married for
completely.
fame though, right? That would be
I
if that
mean-
comes out later. Like
I
that's
mean,
fuck. That's
If
gross.
if a prince or if a princess, for example, wanted to date you, even if she was a little bit ugly, you'd be like, all right, it is a princess of such and such.
No, like I maybe for most people, but like I'm a really bad example of that. If I can't be in a room with you, I'm not gonna date you. Like sleep with you maybe, but like date you, marry you.
But I think
Hell
the
no, I have to,
majority of
like
people
you. I have to be stoked on you, and like I don't care what your title is. I don't care how much money you got. Like
I
if
think
you're
the
not cool,
majority of
I'm not gonna
people
be-
absolutely looks for things like that. The majority of people are not going to pass
believe
up an
that.
opportunity to be in a family where you're royalty. Like most people are not going to pass up the opportunity. So whether she did it for love or for fame or whatever, she's the most famous that she'll ever be in her career. So say
Yeah.
thank you, bitch.
She saw Prince William, and she said, "This will get me more likes than Suits."
And she was naked in Suits.
Oh, gotta get a Google search and then clear the history.
It's on Amazon Prime. You don't even need to work that hard.
Oh well, there we go.
Yeah.
I got to get a Google search, then clear it. Shut up. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So basically, yeah. Who honestly, like, it doesn't really matter, right? It's just like drama made from people that have more everything than we do. So like, what difference does it make, right?
I
Like,
think it matters that despite the progress we've made in like culture, right? That
race relations and
and just treating people humanely. That the most powerful entity in that country is able to get away with like excommunicating a person because of the color of the skin of their partner and their child.
Right.
Like it's unforgivable.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and not to be like dramatic or anything. That's just like, I feel like that's baseline humanity, baseline morals. Like that's unacceptable. If somebody did that near me, I don't like, it doesn't matter what their office is. Doesn't matter like how much money they got. That is, you need to like boo them and middle finger them and make sure that their life is as hard as possible.
Right.
I mean, I think me and Kirk talked about this yesterday, actually. And what I was telling him is, I don't get upset at people who, how old is the queen? She's fucking in her 80s, 90s probably. Like, she's a fucking old lady. She comes from a different era. She was raised differently. She has different beliefs. I tell Kirk all the time, I don't get upset at older people who are in their 80s or whatever if they are racist. It's kind of hard to change how they feel at that point. Like, I have older people in my family and they're not racist, but they're so stuck in their ways and how they see things. There's no way you're going to change that. So it's one of those things where, yeah, the family is moving into the spotlight and they're around celebrities and things like that more with the younger kids especially. But the queen, the person who is the figurehead, she is an old lady who's stuck in her ways, and I don't see that ever changing.
I think that's totally fair. But like, I think them being excommunicated wasn't like the Queen's private directive. It was the whole family, which is full of people that are Meghan Markle's contemporaries. And so they're looking at her and their child and going, you're lesser than us because of the color of your skin.
Right.
That's the part and that the government can't impose upon the royal family. Like, the people can't voice to their rulers.
They're going to do what they want to do.
Well, it's because they have, because God allows them to be in charge of Britain and in charge of the Church of England.
Yeah.
Like that's where they derive their power from, and no one's challenging it because it's been a very convenient way to get tourism from Americans for a couple centuries now. But I don't think the institution is long for this world. Like, they're gonna, like, this is a pretty easy like thing to go up and be like, for all of like non-white Britons, be like, y'all don't deserve to rule over anybody. You don't represent us. You don't represent our values. You are antiquated and need to belong in history alone. But we'll see if they do that.
They may also feel like, why are Americans in our fucking business anyway?
Sure. Yeah.
Stay over there. Why y'all worried about what we doing over here? Like, what are you guys doing? Why is Oprah talking about us?
Yeah, we see it from our lens on this side of the pond.
But I wonder how they feel there.
Yeah, like, are they being like, oh, well, blah, blah, blah. I remember there was a wedding. I was in Los Angeles. There was a wedding in 2011. And I was in Los Angeles, and there was I can't remember who got married, but it was a big deal. And there was a guy outside of a convenience store, and he was a British man, and somebody asked him what he thought about the wedding, and he said he didn't give a fuck about the wedding. You know, like, it's kind of like, do they really care? Do people really care, or is it us looking at it like, oh, I can't believe that, like we don't actually know what another country thinks of those figureheads, right? Like, we're looking at it from our perspective and what we see. So
we only have statistics,
right? Yeah.
Right, we could look those up, but
who has time for that?
Nerds. What I spend my life doing. Yeah, I like. Even if the people are okay with it, it's still incredulous. It's still horrible. So, I don't know. In my quarantine alone time, I've lost a lot of patience for that kind of behavior and communication.
Yeah.
And so
Absolutely.
Well,
Yeah, like one of the first like crazy things that happened while we were forced to stay home and not work is that we had race movements, and it says a lot that the moment you let us not have to go to work, this is what we want, right? Still killing people because of color of their skin, and a lot of us have just no patience anymore.
We've had this past year we've had movements, race movements, and also like we've had a president who was outrightly racist, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so we have become in this time really sensitive and very outraged by the way that people act towards other people, and making people think that it's okay. And that's kind of a carryover of what we're seeing there. Like they think that it's okay that you can shut these people out, and us as America have 50% of the country at least has had enough of it, so it's kind of just it is what it is.
I don't know. I think it's I think you're right. I think people have plenty of time to focus on things like that now, where typically you're so occupied with the things you do from day to day that you kind of don't pay attention to something that's happening to someone that's not in your family or not a friend of yours. But being able to sit here and hear about it, now people's all into it.
Yeah. There's... I don't want to talk about like my struggles in it because my struggles don't matter. I've never had that kind of oppression in my life. Nevertheless, I find myself struggling to communicate. So it's not like a political struggle. It's not a financial struggle. It's an emotional struggle on like how to express my beliefs and my thoughts, and in a way that doesn't take a voice from somebody else. As people of my demographic are irrationally given a lot of room to speak and be heard. And so trying to leverage my privilege in a way that makes voices that I listen to louder is what I'm trying to figure out how to do. The problem is I don't talk to lots of people anymore. I don't have platforms. Like
right.
the last time in between we spoke, I maybe have talked to a total of 12 people. Right. I'm mostly doing mathematics.
You talk to the numbers.
Yeah, well, they yell at me and I cry. This is really our relationship. I'm reading a lot of Greek for, reasons. Nevertheless, like when I have conversations with people, it inevitably, wow, that's a weird try at that word. It inevitably goes these topics because these are the things that matter.
Right.
These are the things I think about when I'm not doing work. And trying to identify my own, the racism I've inherited, being a person, a person of no color. I don't think that's an actual phrase. Being a white person, being a person with a penis, like trying to figure out the unintended biases that still exist and address them and progress past them,
right?
So that I don't continue those behaviors, and then using again like opportunities to be heard, to have no patience and no tolerance and no leeway for any of the garbage that the people who look like me and were in government or still are in government, right? Trump didn't get impeached. They're still in government.
Right.
Clearly. I mean, they're also in the blue team too. It's just they don't speak up. So trying to use my voice to call out people in my community about their horrible shit. So it's struggling. It's trying to figure out how to do that is complicated. I'm not good at it yet. Clearly, I'm still talking with a lot of doubt in my voice. No confidence really. But my aim is to become an educator, to do mathematics, to specifically statistics, and use the learning of statistics to demonstrate to the students with evidence the injustices suffered by people who don't look like me.
Right.
And essentially be able to stomp out anybody's bad, wrong opinion that like beliefs in reverse racism or beliefs in thinking that the wage gap is not a thing.
Right.
Thinking that police, like the claim that like police kill more white people than they do black people, like, and being able to just like, excuse me, you idiot, and fucking horrendous person. No, if you continue to think that, you will not pass this class.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah,
Well,
like that there will be on the test. Here's the problem set. Figure out what the conclusion says. Like, figure out what the math says. Draw the correct conclusion. If you cannot do so, if your politics and your backwater principles get in the way of doing it, you will not get credit for being here. You need to learn that you're wrong.
Right.
And why. So that's the goal, is to have that classroom and be able to like punch at those motherfuckers from academia. That's going to be great.
There's the old saying, the numbers don't lie. So
No.
I mean, like,
Statisticians do, but I'm going to show you how. This is how you bullshit.
Right.
Here's the proper way to bullshit. I'll catch you and I will hunt you down. But yeah. Anyway.
It's pretty crazy.
that's awesome. Well, we're about to wrap up. We're sitting on an hour, Alex. Can you believe that we've been here this long?
Already?
Yeah, we're at an hour and
Damn.
2 minutes. So let's lighten up just a little bit.
Sure.
So I like to whenever I'm at home and it's late at night and I've had some libations and I like to watch David Byrne, America Utopia, on HBO currently. Carmen does not dig this so much. I also like watching the Talking Heads. Stop making sense. Yeah, I love it. Whenever he's in that big suit and he's dancing around. Oh yeah, I got a girlfriend.
Yeah.
She's better than that. I love it. Carmen again, not so much. So can you give me a nice concert movie that I can watch and maybe Carmen will enjoy it with me?
So I don't remember the name of it, but I know there's a recording of like the Mothership Connection.
Oh, really?
Live performance. Little and
Parliament.
fun. The reason that I think of that one first is there's a musician that it's in that one that is also in Stop Making Sense. Do you know who it is? Just
No.
curious if you. Bernie Worrell is the keyboardist for P-Funk, and he is also the keyboardist for quite a few Talking Heads records.
Nice.
Yeah, so all the cool stuff that they made, a lot of it is like him. He was a genius. I got to see him before he passed.
Oh, that's great.
But he's the guy dropping acid and playing Mozart. is the way George described him.
I'm pretty sure Justin Bieber has a concert movie. We can
Oh
watch.
yeah, we got to
And the
check out
Jonas
that.
Brothers
yeah.
had one too. So I'm pretty sure the Jonas Brothers.
That's what you're
too.
gonna make. We can't watch this.
We got a
Yeah, y'all
compromise,
should.
Kirk.
You have some
Mothership
trades. I bet Judas Priest just on the like theatrics is worth your time. Honestly, the Stop Making Sense one, that's my favorite.
It's so
of all
good.
time.
It's amazing. Like he
Yeah,
comes out and
I
he's
really
got
like all those
the
people.
boom box, at the beginning, and then he's just playing his guitar.
With his-
It's great. The whole and then slowly as the movie goes on, more and more of the band comes out, and oh man, it's just an awesome. It's
production.
amazing. Yeah. One that I also enjoy is Shut Up and Play the Hits, LCD Sound System.
I haven't seen that one.
Oh,
but I imagine that's pretty good.
It's pretty good. There's some interviews in there, where the main dude is doing some interviews with the writer of Sex, Drugs, and Cocoa Puffs. I can't remember what the
Right.
author's name is, but awesome, great. It's on Hulu.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That sounds fun. Yeah. It's not really like a concert show, but there's man, I'm really bad at remembering names.
Okay.
But there's a documentary on the Funk Brothers, who were the backing band for Motown Records, and like just going through that history visually, the visual storytelling of it is really, really powerful. Learning how these guys cranked out like hundreds of your favorite songs. They wrote them, they arranged them, they played them,
Right.
and they didn't see any money for it.
Right.
That one's really dope.
Just studio. We're here making the hits.
Yeah, we're the band.
Yeah.
The first person that gave them credit was Marvin Gaye on the What's Going. I'm pretty sure it's the What's Going On record.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first time that like they listed the band out.
Right.
So before What's Going On, like, I mean, these are the guys that taught Stevie Wonder how to play the piano and the drums, like when he was a tiny, tiny human. They're an integral part of American history.
Right.
So they don't have like a concert. Oh, you know what? There's the What's Going On thing. The Marvin Gaye plays What's Going On live record. That's probably a good one. So yeah, if you're gonna watch good ones, go back to the '70s. Al Green's got a dope one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you down for that?
Bunch.
I don't mind.
After Justin Bieber and the Jonas Brothers? Okay.
All right. Well, I think this is the end of the podcast. It was really nice talking to you, Alex.
Likewise.
It was
Yeah.
a great podcast. You're really smart.
Oh, thank you. I think.
Well, if anybody,
I love this. This is fun.
if anybody have any questions or suggestions, please email us at sweetgravypod@gmail.com. Also, you can check us out on YouTube and all the other streaming platforms.
Awesome. Thank you. Bye-bye.